G'day everyone, how you all going? It is another week. Who would have thunk it all the way back in March when we started the show that we would get to a whole 39 episodes and be giving away a boat in the 40th episode. I would never have thought that. But anyway, don't forget the normal rules apply. Get your questions in if you want to ask these guys a question on tonight's show, and don't forget to put your postcodes in. But first things first, we've got to go to Harry's joke. It's a bit of a hard one tonight. This one was sent in through Instagram last week by Crazy Dan. So, Crazy Dan, you're the joke winner. Let's see if Harry can spit it out.
It's going to be hard to pronounce it.
Right.
My mate got a date the other day.
Start again.
Right, I forgot.
So, your mate got a date the other day and she worked at the zoo.
Yeah, she was a bit of a keeper.
So your mate got a date the other day. She was a bit of a keeper. Yeah, there you go. There's a joke. That's very hard to do live, isn't it, Harry?
It's hard to pronounce.
Hard to get it out. Crazy Dan, you're the winner of the joke. Well done for sending them in. As I said, we've only got 1 week left, so get your jokes in for Harry for next week. Hey, mate, can you go in and choose the postcode prize for us?
Okie
Get through there for me. Thank you very much. All right, so don't forget, put your postcodes in, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, ask your questions, and we'll see how we go. How many we got? A few on. We're still going through. So at this stage, it looks like Facebook likes me tonight, so I'm really happy with that. As I said, tomorrow we've got these last 2 interviews for the top 10. I'd like to congratulate everyone that's made the top 10 and everyone that took their time out to actually put in an entry into the Alloycraft Brand Ambassador's Apprenticeship program. It's been a really great event, and I've really enjoyed and really learned a lot off everyone, as well as learning off myself. So, it's been great. Brad's got the big decision. He's got tonight to decide who he's going to choose to come into next week's program. I believe we're going to go with the top 3, give them all a challenge to do next week so we can fill up the hour of next week. So don't forget, if you don't make the top 3, more than proud, there's still more active stuff happening in this place before Christmas. Yes, Pearson, they aren't the photos you gave me. I had to grab some off Facebook today. I was running extremely late. Now, what do we do here? Do we get him on and put him under pressure? I know he's as keen as mustard to get on. We've flipped the coin, and Beau is going to go first. So let's bring him on and have a bit of a chat to Beau. G'day, Beau. How you going?
Good, Corey. How are you?
Good. Now, you've been a supporter of the show since day dot. You've won a few prizes and whatnot through the postcode and comments and stuff like that. I mean, what has been your mainstay on staying on the show every Monday night?
Just the guests that you get in. You get a huge range of blokes in there that fish all different species, and just to learn new things, really. Like, I'm a pretty good fisherman. I'm a bit above average, but just to ask questions of fellas that have done this for many years before and honed in on certain techniques, and just to get more knowledge, really.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. You can never stop learning. I suppose the old saying is true: the day you stop learning is the day you die.
No, that's it, mate. That's it.
So you've got a few friends on that are obviously going to give you a bit of a hard time tonight. So I see some people have got their postcodes in. We've got a few on watching already. It's a bit hard with the time frames being that hour difference with Queensland. They're a bit behind us, so we've just got to put up with them. Go on.
Yeah, so I've got a few boys in Queensland, so they'll probably watch it after and that once they finish from work and get all their family stuff done. So I'll probably get a few text messages after the show.
Yeah, that's it. Look, you've made it through to the top 10, and along the way, I've probably pronounced your name 100 different ways. Please tell me how I should be pronouncing your last name properly.
Eveleigh.
So it is Eveleigh. So every time I said Eveleigh, I got it wrong.
Oh, look, there's a few different ways that the Eveleigh or Eveleigh people like it pronounced, but Eveleigh, I've said Eveleigh all my life, so that's how I say it.
That's how we'll do it. I'll try and remember that because I do get people's names wrong. I am so excited to what's going to transpire over the next week for sure. I've got no problem with that, but we have to talk about you. We've got a set of questions for you to answer. We've got a situational question. We've got 45 minutes to do that. So obviously the first question on all the lists is tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so as most of you know, my name's Beau Eveleigh. I live in Grafton, which is situated in the Clarence Valley, up on just north of Coffs Harbour. I love me fishing. I'm pretty sport for choice, actually, living in Grafton. Like, we're 30 minutes away from the sea, so we get out and chase a few snapper and that. But then I'm a pretty mad bass fisherman. Like, I've got bass pretty much every which direction I look around here in Grafton, so I really like targeting me bass. I'm a dad of two. I have two beautiful kids. So I have Macy, who's 7, and Nate, who's 2. They're my little shadows. Like, I usually can't go fishing without one of them wanting to come or follow, so that's awesome. I'm a chef by trade. I'd been chefing for 15 years and achieved a lot of things in chefing, which I wanted to do. And so I did a bit of a career change and became a teacher's aide. So I'm a teacher's aide at one of the local schools here in Grafton and absolutely love my career change. I get to work with kids and feel like I make a change in their life each and every day.
So you're a chef by trade. That means that you don't cook at home?
Sometimes. Special occasions.
A builder's house is never done. A mechanic's car's never finished. You know, you don't want to do your trade when you get home. But I tell you, if you do get through and you win this and we're traveling together, you're cooking, dude.
Oh, look, I'm pretty good at the old campfire cookouts. Don't you worry.
Excellent. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, we know that you're a river rat, and you know that whole Clarence Valley. You're spoilt, like absolutely spoilt. Probably one of the best river systems in Australia to fish for Australian bass, let alone anything else that you catch in there. I know that they get really and have traditionally always got really big river bass in sort of that top end up through the gorge and whatnot. But how'd you find it going out and fishing in the ponds?
Yes, so like I'm very comfortable on a river, like working edges and that. Absolutely love it. And then I actually won an auction first up to go fish with Graham Ford down at Glenbourne, and that opened my eyes up something severe, like using tiny little plastics and 1/4 inch heads and finessing, and that blew my mind, but absolutely got me hooked straight away. And then I jumped in to do the last 2 ABT rounds at Wivenhoe and Somerset, and got up to Wivenhoe, and I stocked up on all these plastics that I did with 40, and I was like, yeah, no, look, I can do this. And then we started chucking these huge big spoons, and I was like, am I tailor fishing? Like, but had an absolute ball. Like, I got some good boaters up there, and they showed me a couple of tricks and that. Didn't catch at Wivenhoe, so
people did, mate. So that's all right.
Yeah, no. So I'm looking forward to going back next year and learning more about Wivenhoe and using some of the techniques that some of the fellas did really well in.
Yeah, it's a much different. As a river rat going to fish the ponds at the best of time, it's a hard start. But then there's a big difference between a New South Wales pond and a Queensland pond.
The size of the bait that's in there is we've got in New South Wales, we've got tiny, medium-sized bait, but then you go up to Queensland and they've got liveys that you could use for jewfish.
And yes, but bass are such a gorging fish, especially around that August, September time. It's a great time to go to those southern Queensland impoundments, that sort of spring bite. We all talk about the spring bite to go chase yellows down here, but that springtime is a really good time to go and catch those gorging bass. They push those bony brims up onto the banks up in that southeast Queensland corner, and you'll catch a 45 centimetre bass with a 35 centimetre bony brim in its mouth, and it'll still hit your lure. It's, they are a crazy fish in the impoundments for sure.
No, that's it.
All right, so you've got you've been out with the legend himself, and he doesn't like us talking him up too much, but 40 has you bid on a charter early on. You've gone on a couple with 40. What's your sort of suggestion? I say it all the time, and you would have heard me say it on the show, that if you want to learn, go to your local guy and learn from them. It's a very cheap way to do it. It'll take you, 40 or 50 trips to a dam to work out what 40 or Langford or, these guys would teach you in an afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. Like with 40, he sat me down straight away on the boat and said, asked me where I was from, how I fish, and that. And he said, "Yep, okay, that's good, but that's not going to work at this time of the year at this dam." And I was like, "Okay, rightio." I went out the day before. I went fishing with 40. I'm originally a Hunter Valley boy, so I've got family that live down in Singleton, and we came up and they came up to me and we went for a bit of a fish, and that afternoon got nothing. And then the next day go out with 40 and he show us these techniques with the little plastic, slow roll and hopping and brain in them. I was sold straight away.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of what the ambassadorship program is going to be all about. You have to forgive me. I'm sweating like a pig in here. It's about 38 degrees in the room that I'm in. It's about 35 still outside. So I know all the Queenslanders are getting rain, but we're sweltering down here in the heat. Yes, 40, dead set superstar and part of the ambassadors program. And what I want to, give to you guys or girls that actually get through and win this is that knowledge, that knowledge that seasons make a difference. Even the month of the year will be throwing different lures in Queensland to what you will in New South Wales. The same thing as what you would do, you would know back to front in the river. Yep. But we know these dams inside and out. And for years, it took me a long time to learn those New South Wales impoundments because I couldn't get information out of people. I had to learn it all myself. So I want to share that information and get a group of people out there to share it as well. We better get into these questions, mate. There's 5 sets here. Choose. What number?
Let's go number 3.
Number 3. Audio. I even remember my glasses tonight just in case I can't read it. So we've ticked off the first one, of course, which is the tell us about yourself. Rightio, number 3. We'll start. I'm just going to go through them at random, all right?
Righto.
What has been holding you back from taking the next step in the sport?
Well, firstly, it was work commitments. Like I only started doing the ABTs this year. I wanted to start them at the start of the year, but I still had quite a few work commitments. And then COVID came and changed a few things, so it made it a little bit easier for me to be able to make it to the last 2. But it was just work and family commitments really that stopped me to begin with to get into it. And now that I've got that new career change that allows me to have 2 days off consistently, which is a weekend, and copious amounts of holidays being a teacher's aide, which I'm pretty lucky about and stoked, that I'm able now to be able to do these ABT rounds, which I've been wanting to do for years. So,
yeah, well, I suppose it comes back to being a chef. You would have been working a lot of evenings and and weekends, a bit like my industry that, you never really get some time off, where being a teacher's aide of the school's closed, you're getting time off. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So that makes it easier. I love it, love it, love it. All right. Tell us, what would be your top 3 attributes to make you the best person for this apprenticeship program? Give us 3 of them.
Give us 3. Okay. So one would be my determination. Like, I'm a very determined person to begin with. Like, if I set myself something, I will do everything in my power to achieve it. Doesn't matter how long it usually takes, as long as I can achieve it in a fair time. So if I do get it, one would be my determination to make myself and Bluefin grow together as a partnership. 2 would be respect and loyalty that I show. If I'm shown respect, I'm happy to do bend over backwards and go above and beyond to show that back in tenfold.
Can I just interrupt there for a second? How hard is it for you to keep a straight face when that cat's going off in the background?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. After this show's finished, I'm probably going to set a cat trap.
I met the cat earlier on, so I knew it was a cat straight away, and it wasn't one of the kids being strangled. So keep going. Give us your 3rd one.
And 3rd and final would be I'm really friendly and approachable. Like, I love meeting new people and talking and having a yarn and that. So, like, I really enjoy meeting new people and what I can get out of meeting that new person. Like, it could be something little, it could be something big, but I really enjoy meeting new like-minded people in the sport and sharing the passion around.
Excellent. Now we're going to go to a crowd question. There's been a couple come in, so I'll go back and scroll through them, making sure that we sort of keep everyone entertained. My eyes are getting worse. I'm going to have to do something with this, how I view this. Let's bring up Cameron's question. What are your goals for 2021? Say comp outcomes, destinations for comps, overall expectations for your year. Now that's a sort of 3-bladed question there. So answer it how you will.
Yep. Destination. Well, with the tentative bookings that were booked in, I'm interested to go down to your neck of the woods, down to Blue Lake, I think it is.
Blue Rock, yep.
Blue Rock, yes, that's it. So I'm really keen to go down there. I've did a little bit of YouTubing on it, and there seems to be some really nice fish that come out of that. So fingers crossed that all the bookings stay and we don't have another silly COVID bust up again. I'll be able to get down there and have a crack down there. Overall, if I do end up winning this apprenticeship, obviously I will become a boater. But if not, being a non-boater, I'd just like to be consistent in the comps. Like, I would like to catch my bag, have my bag each time when it comes into weigh-in. Easier said than done at some places and some bites, as I learn at Wivenhoe. But really just to stay consistency and maybe jump up into that top 10 a few times. Like, I got 7th at Somerset, and that feeling of accomplishment that I got, that actually I can do this, like, was pretty overwhelming for myself. Like, I was second ABT and was able to come 7th at Somerset as a non-boater. So that was a pretty exciting moment for me.
Yep.
And expectations for the year is just to have a happy and healthy year, really, and enjoy my sport or what I'm doing and enjoy fishing. Like, that's really all I can ask for. Happy, healthy, and get a bit of fishing in.
Yeah, I think, we tend to forget the basics, and it really is consistency. If you want to fish for an AOY title, it's about consistency. It's not about winning each individual comps. There's been so many guys over the last few years that have actually won the championship without actually winning a comp, because they're always up there. They don't win one, bomb out, win one, bomb out. So, it's about consistency. But I think everyone's key, or everyone's sort of goal, should be to catch their limit. Not to work on size. Don't work on I need 2 big ones today, or I'm going to catch a stonker or whatever. It's just catch your bag first and then go out from there. So great answer. All right, let's go on to the next question. Where do you see yourself in 12 months, 5 years, and 10 years?
12 months. I'll stick to fishing goals because I'm pretty happy where I am in my life at the moment. Like, I've achieved a fair bit there, but if I can just stick to fishing goals, 12 months, I'd like to complete a whole round of the ABT rounds, like the ABT circuit. What was that? 5 years, was it?
5 years. Yep. That's
5 years. I would like to have my own boat and possibly get the angler of the year. If I could get my own boat and have a red hot crack and possibly get angler of the year, I think that would be outstanding and would boost up my profile.
Yep.
And in 10 years, well, in the Clarence at the moment, we don't really have any freshwater fishing charters. So with that saying of my 5-year plan of getting my own bass boat, I would probably like to do like what Graham Ford and Matthew Langford do, like is have that charter where they're out on their waterways, fishing constantly, taking people fishing, but also learning their waterways more. And I think that's a big key to their success, is that they're on the water a lot more than other people, and they're just constantly doing different techniques and seeing what's working at that time of the year. So,
for sure. Yeah. For sure, time on the water does definitely help, but it is hard once you turn your passion into a job. It can also backfire on it. So it is not easy. What those guys do is phenomenal. They do a great job. How you traveling?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Canadian Club. I'm still working on that sponsorship. Still working on it. Shameless plug. Hey, talking about shameless plugs. Before I go any further, don't forget to jump on. The link will come up in the description. I am closing the store very, very soon. So if you want to get your supporters jersey, supporters hoodie, there's caps, there's tracksuit pants, there's shorts, there's everything in there. If you want to get some of them, make sure you jump on board and have a crack at that. It's through Project Clothing, who really look after me. So there's my shameless plug as well. All right, you're doing good, you reckon?
Yeah. No, as you said, it's just two blokes talking around the campfire.
That's right. I said you'd ease into it and you'd go. You were nearly, we're at the 25-minute mark, so we're cranking through the time, mate. So don't stress about that. Let's start with some harder questions, eh? So right. What is your family situation, and given your circumstances, what can you commit to? Well, sorry, I'll say that again. What is your family situation, and given the circumstances, what can you commit to in time to be successful in this role?
Okay, so I have been married. Me and her are separated at the moment, but we are still really good friends. Like, we had been together since we were 14 years old, high school sweethearts.
Yep.
So we still work really well together as a team. So she understands when I need time off to go do these things, that she's more than happy to have the kids. And then when I come back, I have the kids. So that there is really good still. So I'm able to commit to most things, as long as I've got a decent amount of time to be able to organise my life around up here. And what was the second bit, sorry?
So, given your family circumstances, what can you commit in time to be successful in the role?
Yeah, so commit in time. So with that, as I said, as long as I've got a bit of notice, I can pretty much commit to most things. So that's no dramas there. Like, probably as long as it's not halfway through the week where I've got to take a few extra days off school, because even though my principal is very good at giving me time off for these certain things. It would just, some things would depend about if it was some special occasions that we'd have to do at school, have at school. But other than that, I'd be able to commit to most things, really.
Yeah, no, and it always comes out work-life balance, work-play balance. You know, you've got to work in together, but I don't think any sponsor should be drawing you out within your work environment. It's a two-way street. You've got to work together. Definitely that for sure. You've sort of answered that one, so I'll go on to this one. Let's see if there's any questions in the comments that we should. We've had Cameron's. Fred, I think that's Whitfield. You have to apologise for my eyesight. It's very hard to see the other side. What's the biggest cod you've caught and where?
Well, in Grafton, I've got the endangered species of the cod, the eastern cod.
Yep.
You're not really allowed. Well, you're not allowed to target them, but in one of the waterways that they're in, the Nimboida, the Man, and all that, it is also one of the greatest bass fisheries that we've got around here as well, other than the mighty Clarence. So there was one night I used to live out in Nimboida, which is right, as you know, right near the Nimboida River. And one night I went out fishing after finishing work from the coaching station that Russell Crowe used to own, and needed to de-stress. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll go chuck a surface lure down under the bridge for an hour or so, and hooked a 1.20 meter eastern cod. So that's my biggest eastern cod. I've got some pretty blurry pictures of it because it was sort of early stages of Facebook and phone cameras and all that. So I've got some blurry Kodak special pictures of it, which sit pretty proudly in my fishing room. But yeah, that's my biggest cod. I also lived at Eveleigh for 18 months while my dad painted the floodgates of Copeton Dam, and we've caught some good ones out of there. I haven't cracked the meter from Copeton, but I've got some good 80s and low 90s. So
still good fish, mate. Still
yeah,
good.
no, that's exactly right. Meter fish don't come around every day of the week. Like Facebook shows that it does, but
it's not true.
No, that's right.
You can fish a lifetime without catching a metery. But anyway, let's go. We're ticking off the minutes really, really quick. Loving the chat. So I better get into this situational question. Then we can go on and finish off with a couple of last questions. All right?
Right, yep.
Which one do I want to ask you? All right, I'll ask you this one. So there's always that one competitor that's a pain in the ass. They've always got a story that they've done one better than you or done something to get one up on you. You get partnered with them on the same boat for the final day of the grand final. How do you handle this situation on the boat?
Yeah, good scenario.
There you go.
Okay, so probably the first thing I'd do is before we get onto the boat and I've launched the boat and we go in, and before he steps on and that, I'd just have a bit of a yak to him first and just say, look, mate, all things aside, we're here together as a team. You do well, I do well, that type of thing, and just keep reminding him that today we're a team. Like, one person can't win this. It takes two people in these ABT tournaments to be able to produce fish. And yeah, just reassuring him that today is us. It's not what you've done previously. It's not who's caught the biggest fish in their lifetime. It's just me and you on the boat right now, fishing together, trying to get a job done.
That's a great answer. Now, as everyone else has had to do, Brad has given you all a challenge to do during the week, and and they've got tougher as the weeks have gone on. I think the first couple of guys, got the easier challenges, and then they just progressively got tougher because we thought, you've had more time to watch the other guys do their videos, so they had to get a little bit tougher. And tonight's two were pearlers. So tell us what your challenge was.
Okay, so my challenge was to create the ultimate tinny to keep it under that 4.5 meters. So yeah, so I this probably took me about 8 hours to do. So like this was a good challenge. I was really excited at the start. Like I was going to be like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. Like I'm going to make this awesome little fishing boat and it's going to be set for fishing. But then I thought about it and I was like, not a lot of people go into a boat store and buy a boat just for fishing unless you're dedicated like us fellas. A lot of people go in to buy a boat for their families and to spend time on water. So I had to think about it a bit more. As much as I wanted to just deck this boat out hardcore for fishing, I thought about it a bit more and made it a bit of a family-friendly boat, but also the serious bass fishermen could go out and slay a few.
So a bit of a crossover. So basically in the challenge, you had an unlimited value. You could spend whatever you wanted.
Yeah, money was no option.
Right, yeah. All right, let's see what you come up with. So I'm going to hide myself off the screen. I'm going to hide you off the screen as well. Bring you up. Hopefully we get it all to play, and you're going to voice over the top of it. Is that correct?
Yep, I'm going to do a voiceover, live voiceover.
Yep, rightio. So I'm going to mute myself, hide myself, and you know what to do once the video starts playing, all right?
Awesome. Thanks, Corey. Hey, ladies and gents. So I've chosen the 450 Scoundrel to do my ultimate small boat setup. I've chosen this boat because it comes with loads of storage for all those family activities you want to do in a boat, with plenty of storage for any serious fisherman, including live well, comfortable seats, and front and rear casting deck. But enough of this now. Let's see what I've added to this boat to make it so ultimate and friendly family and used for the serious fisherman. First up, a 60 horsepower Mercury 4-stroke motor. This thing will purr like a kitten on the back of this boat, but also give you the power to get on the plane with ease. With great fuel efficiency, you'll be able to get on those secret fishing spots and back with ease, or the family back safe and sound. Now, every boat needs strong, reliable batteries, and for this I've chose the Invicta Life PO4 batteries. These batteries are environmentally friendly, lightweight, only weighing 12.2 kilos, and for lithium batteries, they're a great price compared to others on the market. Yes, that's right. You can ski and tube behind this boat. With a ski pole introduced, this boat is made for more than just fishing, with the 60 horsepower on the back of this boat. On those hot days when it's too hot to fish, you can take the family out on the water and ski and tube while you wait for those fish to be back on the bite. No boat these days is complete without an electric motor, and for this I picked the Minn Kota Riptide iPilot. This will get you sneaking around those rivers and dams without the fish knowing you're even there, or in my case, motoring up to that bushy tree on the side of the bank that has my lure stuck in it. And here comes the big boys and big girls toys, 2 Garmin LiveScope sounders, one placed in the front casting deck so you can see those fish that you're casting to, and the other at the side console. Not only are these units great for fishing, they're a safety feature when it comes to driving, knowing your depth and knowing the structure that's beneath you and your boat. Right, the secret weapon for this boat is the removable round kettle barbecue. This mounts nicely into a rod holder. Imagine this, taking the wife, girlfriend, family away to their very own secret island on the boat and cooking lunch or dinner straight on the boat right where you pulled up. It doesn't get any better than that, I don't think. Or you're fishing with the boys, you catch that good one and you could throw it straight on the barbecue it won't get any fresher than that, I'm telling you. Why an anchor? Because you can't always rely on electronics. Things do go wrong, and this bad boy will keep you in place. Plus, your Minn Kota doesn't like eating sand and mud when you pull up to that island for that barbecue lunch. That's it, a light bar. If you like fishing and crabbing at night, this thing's going to make it look like sunup. No running into snags at night, no lost crab pots when this 5,254 looms is shining straight at it. Then you ask, where am I going to store my rods? I've got you with the Berkeley clip-in rod rack mounted to the front of your side console. Rods clip in and don't fall out, even at full speed. This keeps them up, out of the way, no broken rod tips, no broken hearts. Safety gear. Every boat needs life jackets, and with plenty of storage, there's no excuse they shouldn't always be in this boat. Lastly, a bimini. Great for when you've got the family on the boat to protect them from the sun, the rain, and other elements. So I hope you've enjoyed my ultimate boat setup using the 450 Scoundrel by Bluefin Boats. Hopefully this has shown you that the 450 Scoundrel is an all-round boat that will have your family covered for whatever adventure you have. Your boat, your lifestyle, your dream, Bluefin Boats.
There you go, mate. You got through it. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot harder when you get the idea in your head at the start of the week, and then it's like, oh, yeah, and you change tact here, and you got to change everything as you go through. But you're finally there. You must feel relieved right now.
Yeah, I feel $1 million after getting that done. Like, after all the hard work I put into it, and to be able to share it with you guys, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, look, I'll have to say that Pearson later on, I won't talk about it on your segment, but Pearson later on, we've got a full story on the problems we've had with his, and it's quite entertaining. So that's really cool. You've got it through. You've done your challenge. You've done your situational question. We've asked a few questions. We're nearly at time. We've got a little bit of time up our sleeve. Is there a question you'd like to ask me at this point in time?
What's your year looking like for next year? How many of the ABT rounds do you think that you're going to be able to make, if any?
The ABT rounds, I'm hoping to actually. Well, I'm just waiting on Morgo. I've had a chat. I'm actually on. I'll give myself a shout out. I'm actually on Morgo's show next week. He does his live show. I'm actually on next week. Brad and I are on there talking about the apprenticeship program. So
Awesome.
Really good of Morgo to bring me on. We had a bit of a chat behind the scenes, and I can't talk too much about it because it hasn't been released yet. But obviously, Steve's released his dates, and as a travelling calendar, it looks really, really good. So 2 rounds in Queensland, and Oz Open on the river. You got Blue Rock down here. So there's a really cool sort of spread between them all. I think if I had to choose the Queensland rounds, I would be 100% choosing Kenya over Somerset, just for the fact that I just love Kenya. It's insane. It's my favourite waterway in Queensland. So Kenya would be a choice if I had to choose, but I might still go with the 2. I have actually secured a travel partner, so we will be sort of travelling together. He lives mid New South Wales, so I'll drive to his place, and then he'll drive through, so we can cut down a day's travel each side that way. So to answer your question, that's a long-winded answer. I'm going to try and get to as many as I can, but it will depend 100% on how Morgo decides to do his grand final. So because there was no grand final this year, and there's carryover and whatnot, so it'll just depend. If it is worth chasing an AOY title, or whether it's worth just doing individual rounds, I'll have to make that decision when it gets closer. But that's just a personal thing, because if you've got to go to every round, guys have fished, because I was locked out in Victoria, there's a few of us down here. We only got to fish 1 last year. So if he combines the 2 years together and makes it a best of 6, so to speak, it means that I've got to fish every comp and I can't miss one to even qualify for the grand final. So it just depends on that scenario. If it works out, I'll be at them all. I've got I put a post out today on my social media channels. I've got ABT I'm trying to support. I've got Australian freshwater teams that I'm trying to support. I've got Nagambie down here that I support. I've got Central Victorian lure castings. If you take the brim out of that calendar because I'm not fishing brim, it's going to be a pretty chaotic year this year. So it'll make up for the lack of time I spent on the water, I suppose, in 2020.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great question. How are you feeling now? You're just about at the end of it. Do you want to give any shout outs or have a bit of a blurb to finish off, mate?
Yeah. I'd like to thank you and Brad for the opportunity that you have given all of us, really, and how appreciative I am of making the top 10. That's a pretty good goal. And then just to all my friends and family that have supported me and know how hard that I've worked for something like this, thank you. There's been a lot of times that I've stayed out longer fishing than what I should have, just to get that photo, but I do appreciate it. Been a little bit kind to me there in other places. And good luck to all the other contestants. Like, you guys have done an amazing job. I've been pretty lucky to have a bit of a late entry and sit back and watch you guys do it all first. And that, so you have made the path for us other guys, which gave us a little bit of a handicap, really, I think, to hear some of the questions and your responses and that. So you guys did really well. And and just a little bit overwhelmed by this week by the messages that I got from people that I didn't even know, just wishing me good luck. And that was a pretty good feeling to have, that people were out there and sort of gunning for me after seeing my video to get into the top 10. So really appreciate all that, guys. And hopefully you'll see me around fishing somewhere or on Facebook a little bit more.
No, mate, well done. That's a great thing. I'm all about the warm and fuzzies. There's a lot of people out there that can dwell on the negatives, and it only takes that one positive to come through. Like you're saying, you get a few people that you don't even know, and they're sending you comments. It's just absolutely amazing. It just blows me away. I've learned so much out of this whole thing. I've learned so much. So really proud of you, mate. Time for you to go and hop back a frothy and relax and wait for tomorrow, I suppose.
That's it.
All right, I'm going to get Pearson on in a minute, but I'll do the postcode prize in a minute. I know Pearson's in the background there going, but I'll say ciao for now, mate. You can log out. We'll talk on Facebook probably tomorrow and, just recap on tonight for you.
No worries. Thanks,
right,
Brian.
See you, mate. All right, this is where I have to draw the postcode prize. Now, the joke prize tonight was some Berkeley power baits, a Berkeley Frenzy lipless crankbait, some jig heads, an Arashi, what do they call that one? Arashi spy bait, and a ripping minnow. So that was the joke prizes. For the postcode prize, we've got a little minnow, some jig heads, a Mr. Twitch, a small jointed swim bait, a Frenzy, and some more Berkeley power baits. And the postcode prize this week goes to Michael Daru. I hope I got that right, Michael. Carnegie, I think it is. It's 2460. So, Michael, you're the winner of the postcode prize. Please send me through your details in a private message to Corey's Dam Fishing, and I will get that off to you. I'll just write this down. 2460. Rightio. It's about time we get the boy on. So let's have a bit of an unmute here and jump him on the screen. G'day, Pearson. How you going?
Bit close. Good. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you for waiting. I know it's hard, a bit harder for you. Last 2 weeks we've had the double up, so you've had to sit in the background, wait patiently until it's your turn. But it's probably a good thing. It's a bit of a payback to you for the week that I've had. You got called away for work, unfortunately, and had to shoot up the beautiful, what is it?
Gove.
Town of Gove. Do they call it a city? No, it's a town. So
it's far from a city, yeah.
yeah. So you had to go up there. You had very limited internet access. You had very limited time because you're up there doing your work stuff. And we really appreciate that, you couldn't really do anything until you got back on Friday. And then you had a pre-engagement on Saturday that you had to go to as well. So you left yourself, not left yourself, but in the circumstances you were left with very minimal time. I think you didn't even get your challenge until sort of Thursday or Friday. We finally sort of talked in a message and got it through. So you've had the least amount of time to prepare out of anyone. Really appreciate that you've put in to get it to this stage. Enough on that. We don't want to make excuses for you because this is a top 10, of course. Let's go with the straight up. Let's tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So I grew up, as per my video, in Chinchilla. So did my schooling out there. The whole sort of 17 years I was out there. We pretty much sport was multiple times a week. Then on the weekends it was sport or hanging out with mates. Grew up on a farm. We have cattle and grain, and we sort of just spent our time motorbikes, hunting, fishing. We grew up on a creek, so spent a lot of time. We never really fished lures until probably just about leaving Chinchilla, but we did a lot of bobbing and just fishing with floats and that sort of thing. We thought a lure was like a Preditech diver. that was all we knew about lures, and then moved to Brisbane. I've went to college there, which is basically just a boarding school for uni, and there's about 250-ish people, co-ed. Met some great mates there, plenty of parties, plenty of sport pretty much every day of the week, which is it's a great way to meet people. Probably would have struggled to stay down here, I reckon. It was such a big change coming from sort of a family of 6 to living in a boarding house nearly, and not knowing a single sort of person down there really, and having to sort of, you sort of don't know how to make friends when you grow up in a country town, because you made your mates when you're in preschool, and then you sort of progressed through as mates, and we're all still mates now. But now I did engineering, mechanical at uni, and I work at a fab shop. Design conveyors, jib cranes, anything really that sort of it comes through the door. It's good. It's always different and pretty challenging. It's very math sort of heavy, which hurts the brain at times, but it's good.
No, that's awesome. Now, as I said, we were sort of limited with our chat, but we got to have a couple of chats over the time, and I do have to say, you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. Seems to sit pretty true with you. You seem to just knuckle down and get it done. The circumstances there, they're not going to break me. I'm just going to get it done. So really appreciate the effort you put in. It's been a really, really cool effort to get to this stage. So well done. Listen, you've told us about yourself. We're here to try and promote you to get Brad, who's on there watching, and decide to whack you in that top 3 next week. So let's see how we go with the questions. You know how it works.
Pick one for me.
I'll pick one for you. All right, I'll just pick one out at random. That'll be that one. You got number 4.
Ready.
Rightio. Put the glasses back on. This is what happens when you hit 40, mate. It's all downhill.
Yeah, that's what Timmy given it to you before. About your glasses.
Yeah. Let's start on this page. Given the opportunity to be the Alloycraft Brand Ambassador's apprentice, what would 3 achievements you'd like to tick off in the first 24 months?
So I think the whole sort of aim of this program is to build your brand as a person, as a fisherman. Not necessarily as a fisherman, probably less so as a fisherman, just more as a person that people look up to, respect. I think I'd really try to use yourself, Brad, Matt Langford, Mick, all the other guys that you've sort of said that they're going to help out to sort of grow as a person, and just the skills. It's not necessarily fishing. It's how you present yourself, how you sort of communicate, how you sort of have to being a boater mentor as well to sort of what you're doing. So I think that's 1. 2 is probably grow relationships and my network amongst the community. So in the ABT scene and that sort of thing, just meet a lot more people, get to know them, just make general friends. But then also sort of in Brad's business, selling boats and making boats in that side of things as well, and just generally networking so that people trust you, believe what you do is a good thing, and that's sort of the rest just falls in place, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Last one, I'd like to sort of gain a lot from the mentorship as well, just fishing wise. I've sort of everything I've learnt just about, except I've done a couple ABTs and a charter with Matt Langford, which is great. But everything else other than that, I've sort of just learnt from time on the dam and just YouTube and that sort of thing. And it is a slow slog away to learn. Like it's hard when the dam's a couple of hours away. You go out and you have a tough day. You learn stuff, but then you mightn't get to go out because of family commitments and things for another month. So it's sort of tough to really improve at a fast rate. I think that's sort of the 3 things that I'd really like to.
Oh, for sure. You've really hit the nail on the head there, and that's part of why I've set up this whole mentorship process, is because it takes so long to work your way through and get that information, even though that it's a lot easier these days with Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, people giving information out there. But it's so hard to put that all into a package and take it out there onto the playing field, so to speak, and put it into play. So if you've got mentors around you that you can throw those questions off that you might not ask normally, or you're too scared to ask because you think that you should already know the answer to, if you've got guys there that you can knock around with like that, it's just gonna be a big bonus. So yeah, you've nailed it there for sure. I do have to say there's been a comment there from actually a mate of mine, Jaff. He's picking on my age. He said closer to 50. Well, yes, I am closer to 50, but I wasn't going to say that. So thanks for that, Jaff. So yeah, just get on there, and that's what it's about. And you're one of the team. The whole top 10, I think, is more excited about the mentorship than anything else to do with it. I mean, everyone wants the boat. Don't get me wrong. That's what the prize is, but the prize and the mentorship has really sold this program. I mean, it's all good to just give away a boat, but you've still got to learn everything, don't you?
Yeah.
But we couldn't do it without Brad, so I'm not saying without the boat. All right, there we go.
Thank you,
right.
Brad.
Let's get on to the next one. What do you think the brand ambassador should commit in order to repay the brand and the capital investment in them? So I'll read that again because I stuttered with it. What do you think the brand ambassador should commit in the order to repay their brand the capital investment in them?
Yeah. So first, I think, again, I said it before, but just growing your brand, because you want to work together with Bluefin and together grow both brands to sort of achieve what I want to achieve and become sort of a pro angler, but also what Brad wants to achieve and run these programs and better his brand. And and sort of promote his product across the world. It seems like that's sort of the way he's trying to go with things as well. But I'd also sort of assist just generally wherever's needed with yourself, or generally anyone, or Brad, whether he needs you to sort of go down to a boat show to just be a person to talk to, or make a video to promote it, be present on social media, all those sorts of things. But I'd really try to promote efficiently as well. Like, you see a lot, I think, guys that just force it in your face, and I think after a couple of times, people just go, "I'm sick of that. I'm following that. I'm not interested." It's sort of, it's quality, not quantity in that respect. I also got a bit of a water skiing background too. That sort of, and I enjoy all. Like, I don't just enjoy fishing. I love going out to the dam, out to the bay or whatever, just for a day on the water. It's generally just me and the missus or mates, and we just go out and have fun. If we catch fish, we catch fish. If we don't, throw a ski in the water, go for a ski, or whatever it may be. But most fishermen probably cringe at the hear of water skiing. But
it's like a fisherman owning a jet ski, wouldn't it? You know, it's, oh, don't get to that. But I love the fact. I have to say, something's been ringing in my head since the first time I met you. Now, would you have been going out to Boondooma with a group of skiing guys from Chinchilla in my time as manager out at Boondooma?
Possibly. We used to go out there a bit more often back. I'm not sure when you were there.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking your face looked familiar. I thought I might have been one of the people that had to like kick out on one of those nights from Chinchilla that there was always a big group of guys from Chinchilla. I was wondering if you were one of them.
Yeah, we sort of used to do the New Year's and that was good fun. That was one of the photos, actually, was one of them.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, well, when we took over, we were doing the fireworks and all that sort of stuff out of Boondooma. But no, well, I used to have one group of guys that used to come over from Chinchilla, lovely country boys, but they always used to get on the terps and make my job very, very hard.
That wouldn't have been us, no.
You don't know any of them, no. They weren't my mates. All right. So you're young, you're energetic. Is Michaela your partner?
No, that's my cousin. But I am from Chinchilla.
Michaela's been writing a lot of comments in there. I just thought Michaela might have been your partner, giving you a bit of a pump up in the comments.
No.
So you're young, you're up and coming with your place of work and everything else.
Yep.
With your given your family situation and given your circumstances, what could you commit in the way of time to be successful in the role?
So currently I sort of work decently large weeks, just Monday to Friday. And I've just actually in the last few months sort of trying to start my own company doing laser cut fire pits and property signs and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And that's this is probably a good example of it. I work sort of 11 hours a day and then happy to go home and punch another 2 or 3 out in the night, just so that come weekend I get time to go fishing or hang out with my partner and that sort of thing. I think it's time. It is finite, but it is what you make of it. Also, it's
that is one of my
favorite.
Yeah, time is what you make of it is one of my favourite sayings. Yeah,
and if you want to do something badly enough, you'll make the time sort of. And I think that if I was able to get this program, I'd make the time to do what had to be done.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head with the last question too. That it's about that quantity versus quality sort of scenario where people are starting to get so much bullshit rammed down their throats all the time that we're seeing through it. And as you said, it's just as easy to hit the unlike button. But when you really see somebody just doing quality stuff instead of quantity, you tend to listen to what they're saying more, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you see blokes like Langers and all those fellas, and they're not posting videos every week. It might be every couple of weeks, but when they do, it's good stuff, and they get the followers.
Yep.
They're honest and do a good job of it.
For sure. All right. So next question is, what are your thoughts on loyalty?
Loyalty. I think in this, well, just in general life, it's a very important sort of aspect of a person. I think you need to be loyal in everything you do. Like where I've worked now, I've sort of been there for pretty much the day I finished uni. I got a job there, and I've still been there to this day, and punch out big hours just to get jobs done. Even though we sort of only have to work the 7 till 3:30, I sort of do what I need to do. And I think if people look after you and treat you right, you sort of got to return the favour. Like if Brad was to give myself a boat and provide all this great experience and the mentorship and everything, you'd have to pay him back with time. You can't just sort of take it. 2 years is up, right? I see you, Brad. I'm moving on. I've got a better gig up the road, sort of thing. You sort of, I guess, from being from the country, all these things are sort of just bred into you without you even realizing, because they're such small towns that you, if you're not loyal and you're not honest and all those sorts of things, you quickly sort of get weeded out, and it's pretty hard to make your way back into those sorts of communities because you're not forgotten.
No, that's it. Never shit in your own nest. So, look, we better get through some stuff. You're powering through these answers really, really quickly. And let's tell us about your challenge. So we've talked about it. You didn't sort of get it till Thursday. I think personally it's the hardest challenge that has been set for the top 10. And you've been able to get something together. You've communicated really well with me in the sense that, normally I'm asking for it on Saturday, so I've got time to prepare it and I've got time. But you communicated really well through the process of where you're at with it and where you're going to be and when you're going to have it to me. You ended up getting it to me about an hour before we were going for the show, which was all good. I wasn't freaking out because normally I would really freak out, but because you communicated the whole way through, I was confident that I was going to get it in time because you communicated really well. Tell us what the challenge is that Brad set you.
All right, so it's a bit different from the other guys. I'm just reading it because it's a bit long.
Yeah.
So to make it as a top angler or brand ambassador comes with plenty of responsibility. These responsibilities will be to yourself, your family, your sponsors, your personal brand. Within this, they'll have to be sacrificed whilst also trying to maintain a balance between all areas of your life. If you can detail how your support network of family and friends will be able to support your journey to become the best. That's word for word by Brad, right?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, so you've had to come up, and this is when we Brad tosses the ideas and we have our phone calls and we come up with the ideas. We, as I said with Beau's, we had to make them harder as we went on because you guys have got the benefit of watching everyone else's interviews. But we come up with this one and thought, that's all right, that's all good. And then the more during the week I thought about it and the more that I couldn't get a hold of you, I thought, shit, how's he going to get something together in this short time frame because it's such a hard challenge. So, hey, you're doing a live voiceover, is that correct? So all I got to do is play.
Yeah. Just play it and I'll try and keep up.
So, all right. So I'm going to
just give me a heads up when you're going to do it.
Of course.
I've tried to time it somewhat reasonable.
So I'm going to bring your video up here, and I'm going to put it over the top. So you can still hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do, once the video starts, I will actually mute my camera so we don't get some feedback. So you can see the video there. What's playing on your screen is what will be live because there is about a 5-second delay tonight, all right?
Yeah, okay. No worries.
Exactly. Don't try and allow for that. Just go with the flow. What you see on your screen.
Go with the screen, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, go with the screen, all right? So I'm about to press play now.
So as mentioned in the question, to be a top angler and a brand ambassador takes time, and with time, you have to make sacrifices. Whether it be family, work, or hobbies, time has to be taken from one of these aspects of life to do what needs to be done. It's very important to achieve a balance between all aspects of your life that works for you and your family. At times, life may require you to swing that balance more towards family, work, or towards the ambassadorship. But I think as long as you try your best to meet everyone's needs and ensure your life balance works for everyone, including yourself, that is what's most important. So in order to have a successful personal brand, a support network is very important. I believe that this is split up into 3 different categories: self-support, family and friends, and lastly, sponsors and mentors. Combining all 3 of these forms a network which allows growth and promotes performance. Firstly, self-support. Growing up in a small country town, you very early on learn that there is no handouts and hard work is required to achieve your goals. It's a bit like the old saying, opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. Being an ambassador would hold a huge set of responsibilities. Before receiving support from anyone, I think you have to be able to commit and really knuckle down yourself to achieve your goals and reach those milestones. You can't just start a job and go straight for help at your first hurdle. You need the resilience to push when it's tough, hold strong to your values and morals when you're in difficult situations, not be too proud to ask for help when you're in need, and share and celebrate with those involved when you succeed. So growing up in a small town, we didn't always have the same opportunities as those in the city, but what we did have was immense support from our family and friends. These support networks made every opportunity possible, whether it be sport related or not. Countless times our parents took us away for sport knowing we didn't stand a chance of winning, but they still gave us the opportunity to experience it when they could have easily saved the money and our disappointment. It taught me many valuable lessons, one of which is that support networks aren't designed to let you down easy by preventing you from failing. They build you up and back you all the way, whether they think you'll win or lose. The point of support is to give you guidance along the way and a hand up when you fall down. Next is your sponsors. Currently, I don't have any sponsors and haven't pushed for sponsors at all. I don't really believe in just using people for free gear. I believe it should be a product you genuinely use and would recommend it. And if you have a good personal brand, these companies would want to be partnered with you rather than you chasing them. I think the support system goes both ways. Number 1 being the ambassador as a progressing angler, and 2, Bluefin as a growing business. I think the support provided by the ambassador to Bluefin is one of the most important of them all. Businesses are forever changing and evolving. That's why I think it'd be very important to provide genuine and honest feedback, as well as to help improve and innovate new, fresh ideas to try to lead the industry and not follow in the shadows of other brands. These are the sorts of things you gain from your public presence being an ambassador, but talking to people to get real opinions and new ideas. Support from Bluefin and Corey to the ambassador is also very important. Yes, the boat is a massive support point, but I think it's support in regards to your personal growth where you'd find the most benefit. I would like to think I carry myself well in a professional sense. I work as a mechanical engineer and have to communicate and deal with clients on the daily and try to exceed their expectations. But there is always room for growth and to take on board advice from successful people such as sponsored anglers and a successful business to better myself as an ambassador and professional brand. Whether it be the way I communicate or market myself, I would hope to better myself, which would in turn benefit the Bluefin brand. So lastly is my personal brand. What I see as my personal brand is how I see myself and others see me in their eyes. If I have a good personal brand, people will want to associate with me. They'll want me to represent their brands, and ultimately people will look up to me. It's not about jamming a brand in people's faces on social media every day. It's about having respect and presence in the community where people trust you, and as a result, they themselves want to use products that I use. So overall, combining the support and guidance from all of my great family, friends, and potentially Bluefin and Corey, I believe I could really grow my personal brand and exceed expectations in the role as an ambassador for Bluefin boats. Thank you for listening.
There we go. Well done. We did have a couple of pauses out there on Facebook, man, by the things at my end, but looks like it all went through smoothly. That was really well done. I think you punched that out of the park, mate, because as I said, that was the toughest challenge out there. I say it all the time. It's very hard to talk about yourself. So you know, and that sort of thing. But I think you nailed it. So well done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're just about at the end of the night. We're just about to that stage where the top 10 is final and we go through to next week. Give us a little bit of, you know, any questions you have for me at this point in time?
Probably anything that you would recommend, or if you could go back and change one thing sort of growing up or becoming a fisherman, doesn't have to be fishing related, that you might change that you think that would have a big impact on your life now?
Yeah, look, hindsight, 2020 vision with hindsight, there's a lot of things that I've thought about, would I change it or would I not? One was when I was much younger, I had the opportunity to go to South Australia on a contract playing AFL, and I decided to stay in Victoria and play in Victoria instead of going over there because I didn't think there'd ever be an AFL team in Adelaide. Well, sure, I was wrong. I made the wrong call there. But in life in general, I look back at my life, I've made a lot of mistakes, but they've made me a better person. So if I changed them, maybe I would have been a different person in the outcome. So I tend not to dwell on the past. I appreciate that I've made mistakes and I appreciate that I've done really good things. And if I can learn from those things, it makes me a better person in the longer run. So, yeah, for sure, there's probably that one thing that stuck with me all the time. I went to America and tried to get a scholarship to play basketball over there before it was even cool. And, yeah, it didn't work out. But I wouldn't change it. I learned so much from the experience. So, really, it's about life and it's about learning for sure, mate. All right. Well, anyone you want, before we close up and I do me final speeches and everything else, is there anyone or any people you want to give a bit of a shout out to? Here's your opportunity.
I just thought my family sort of had a pretty awesome life growing up on the farm. You sort of learn a lot of life lessons that you probably would never learn if I was to grow up in the city. And we mum and dad didn't let us sort of miss an opportunity. They always sort of put us first as kids, which is awesome. I'd like to thank my partner. I drag her out fishing most weekends, sometimes both days, which she sort of is not quite impressed about. But she's a good fishing buddy, and I don't know whether she she's commenting there.
I think she said, you said in your introduction interview, that she loves to sun lounge on the front deck. Yeah.
I think I'm probably the better fisherman, but she probably catches more fish to cast ratio because she doesn't fish until I start catching fish. But she actually, the other day at Somerset, my biggest is a 50 on the dot forker, and she smoked me with like a 52 or something.
Well done. Is that Megan?
Yeah.
Well done, Megan. Good work. Any other people you want to give a shout out to?
Yourself and Brad and anyone else who's involved behind the scenes. It's obviously a first for Australia, and I think you probably start a bit of a trend here. I think other not necessarily boat companies, but other people will jump on board of this sort of thing, and they might tag along with you guys, or they might try to start their own. But it's a great initiative that, like you guys don't have to do that. That's you're putting in your time, and Brad's throwing out a boat. Like I'm sure he sells boats fine. They're great boats, but he's trying to grow his business and develop people at the same time, and also sort of improve the sport within Australia and try to grow it that way. But it's just big thanks for that. I'm sure all the guys that put in videos and they've made it to the top 10. Really appreciate it. And I really appreciate just the opportunity to even give this a crack.
Awesome. No, love your work, mate. Thank you very much again. I know it was a big week for you, but you've cracked it out of the park. You've hit it for 6. There's many different sayings I could throw out there, but you've done a great job. Really appreciate the effort. As I said, I might be a little bit of a favoritism towards you because of the time frames that you've had to do this. Everyone else has had 7 days and you've had 2. So
no, that's all right. No excuses.
Good. Yeah, you've done well. And, all good luck to you. Listen, I've got to go through the list. So good luck. We've got Declan, we've got Tristan, we've got Bill, we have Lisa, we have Connor, we have Brandon, we have Dion, we have Kevin, we have Pearson, and we have Beau. That is our top 10 complete. It has been these people have just jumped through some hoops for us. I can't say good luck enough to all of you. Look, Brad and I talked today. Any of you guys can still win it at this stage. Guys or girls, we've got Lisa in there. I can't just say guys. I should say Fisher people, Fisher persons. We'll just leave that there. But any one of you can win this. And I seriously have learnt so much more than words that I can put out there from all of you. It's been amazing to meet you all individually and talk to you individually. I see a lot more of your personalities and stuff like that. We get to chat offline and talk just as people, and you're all wonderful people and you're all deserving of going on to the next step. It's been absolutely amazing. I will get emotional next week. I am an emotional sort of guy. Whoever wins it, we'll probably have to take over the show because I might be a little bit emotional when we're giving away a boat. I'm just so proud of everyone. I'm proud of Brad for his support in the industry. It's second to none, through his support of ABT. The boat that I'm actually running out there, Brad's helped me out with that. That is actually the prize boat for the ABT Grand Final. He's got another boat for the ABT Brim, the Brim electric boat. So he's been doing this for years. It's not just this year. He supported ABT for years, supported Bass Nation. My first tournament boat was a Bluefin Wildcat Pro, which I bought off Bill and Cindy Slosh, who won it. So, I've supported Brad and I love the product. I loved all of what you guys have put out there. I love all the support, all the kind messages behind it. I will be emotional next week. There is no doubt, but I am so looking forward to it as well. Thanks, Pearson. I'm going to cut it off here. We've been on and we've done our stuff. Appreciate everyone. Good luck to everyone. And look, from what Brad tells me, tomorrow night he's going to make an announcement with at least the top 3 and we'll set new challenges for next week. Next week will be the last week of Chewing the Fat for this year. I'm going to have a few weeks off over Christmas, sit back and probably try and lose some weight and see how we go. But I'm really looking forward to the tournament.